welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon, so a massive shout out of thanks and appreciation to Retro Bill, More Books, Kenna Bear, Fiber Oats, Bogey, Michael Kahn, Rob H, Ben White, Maximum Gravy, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Will Brax, Mel B Styles, Troy Shuker, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Neo the One, Rob W, Open Minded, Reese Pound, Del West Watson, Maria Neelands, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, The Real Gabster, Liam Ledrick Jr., Abraham Mohammed, Adrian Quintana, Skeptic 936, Life is Short, Texas Mike, and David Wayne Foster. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand over to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
Literally on a tear.
Now I've got an issue with my computer. It's screen tearing. I noticed it about a month ago and it's got progressively worse ever since. Oh well.
What is screen tearing? Like part of it's gone?
No, it means it will show the sort of layer behind whatever layer is on top, and it will flash up. I've just got rid of all the layers that are underneath whatever is on top, so even if it is doing it, it can't be seen to the audience, but it just means there's a few things I can't monitor now, which is irritating. But there we go, that's such is life.
Oh, like if you have more than one window open, it shows the other window?
Yeah. Oh well,
gotcha.
It's fine, I'll just have to deal with it.
Good morning. Who just said good morning?
Yeah, that was me. Morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning. Well, lovely. Everyone's in the mood to talk.
I'm disciplining myself today.
Oh, yeah? What does that mean?
That means I'm not going to butt in no more until I find the opportune time to speak. It means I'm not going to be rustling around. I'm tightening up my ship.
What?
Good.
My goodness.
About time.
Well, I listened to it. It does sound horrendous. I felt
it does.
so embarrassed.
Costing me subscribers.
All right, Nathan, shut up. Those little babies that go report to you in the comments, I got something for them.
What babies? What reports? What are you talking about, Neil?
Well, when I monitor the chat, when he re-ups his shows over the weekend and at night. So a lot of people need to be timed out. And then they start lying and saying that I kicked them out. Whatever that is. I not blocked them. I removed them totally. I don't even know how to do that.
Neil, I thought we were dialing back today. Calm down.
No, I am. When the show starts.
That is him dialed down, though. Watch, there'll be a campaign to get the old Neil back if you do it too much.
Hey, listen, it's funny though. The arguments in chat, I feel like I'm back in a time machine. It's sad.
What arguments are they bringing back?
Same thing. Atmospheric pressure, gradients, all of nonsense.
What are they saying about those things?
Oh, that there's no container. Otherwise, the pressure would equalize like a tire.
The pressure would equalize like a tire. Huh. So when the tire is heated up and those gas particles are agitated, what's happening?
And there is no sun in a tire. That's number one. It's such a small scale compared to the Earth. It's ridiculous.
So cold air in the tire versus heated air in the tire, what happens?
What was that?
Cold air in the tire versus heated air in the tire, what happens?
Your tire blows up.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, you know that happened to me one time, filling up my tire.
Uh-huh.
And I'm filling up. All of a sudden, the loudest pop you ever heard. My ears were ringing. I didn't notice that there was like a bubble on the inside part of the tire,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole thing just popped.
Yeah, you see it all the time on the road with the truckers. You see layers of the tires laying in the middle of the road.
Listen, they want their space. They don't want to.
You don't want to give them their space.
They don't. I'm talking about these people in chat. They don't want to come to terms with that. What we've done here was totally debunked. Earth a globe next to a vacuum. I mean, it's sad. It really is sad, but they just want it. They just want the heliocentric model to be the model,
Well,
and they
maybe,
claim we have no proof.
well, maybe NASA's running out of wire harnesses to fake zero gravity, so they need the real space now.
I don't know what it is, but regardless of the fact, and finally I told this one guy, I said, listen, the housekeeping questions alone, every single one of them, destroy the belief system that you believe.
Well, they like their atmospheric refraction, 7/6R. They think that somehow debunks the black swan, when the whole point of the black swan was for them to say refraction, which means they never had a tangent line to their geometric horizon that could never be seen because it changes with the weather, and the Earth has to be physical, so how's it changing? They run into dead ends everywhere.
Yeah, I had one guy say in a different conversation, not related to Nathan's show, that, yeah, everything you show, how they get it from the center of the Earth, said to me, yeah, they're just explaining to you how it's done. And like, I'm saying, you don't see the problem yet. No.
What did they get from the center of the Earth besides a sub sandwich?
He was saying, but they're showing you how they do it on a globe. What's the problem?
A circle.
Oh, God.
A circle, not a globe. That's a circle, you know that's a meridian.
Yeah.
Every time you see that dingleberry, that's just a circle. That's a meridian that's cut out. That's not a globe.
Yeah, they can't do that on a globe.
We can't get an angle from the surface of the globe, so they draw a circle and say we're getting them from the origin, where two lines can meet and make a vertex. You say, great. Is the sextant down there for the two lines to meet for the observation to be taken from? No, but we assume it is. Well, you could assume it's a giraffe then.
Right, that's what he said. He said exactly. He admitted that they can't get it from a curved surface. That's why they go to the center of the Earth. What's the problem?
The center of a circle.
Oh, boy.
They get an angle makes a full circle when you take the one line and go 1 degree, 2 degree, all the way back to where you started. That's 360. That's a two-dimensional circle on a flat piece of paper. Angles complete the full circle eventually.
Correct. They're not getting it.
You can't get an angle from the center unless you have a straight angle. Straight angle, right, from one half, from one side to the other, without the full turn, is a straight angle. There's your equatorial plane.
Yeah, I like that gift Nathan had going up, showing you that.
Mm-hmm.
That was beautiful. I showed it to my daughter. So she was like, all right, so it's fine if the earth is flat, she said.
Okay, so let's go on. It's funny how people don't see the significance of the lie. Hello, John.
Hey, Tim, what's up?
Good morning. We're just discussing Neil's adventures in
Wait a second.
chat.
John just sounded so downcast. What's the matter? Ken Holvine ain't getting in touch with you?
Nobody wants to debate me.
Can you blame them?
John, why don't they want to debate you?
I guess because it's not a debate.
Because you'll need a flat plane for that.
But John, you're going to give them their celestial sphere model. They already got one step ahead of you. What's going on here? Why wouldn't they debate you?
It's either cowardice or I don't know. I don't know. I can't say. I can't say.
I can say, trust me, they listen to these shows. They want no part of you, John.
Well, they had a very interesting debate on whether they would debate me or not. That was an interesting debate.
I guess the conclusion was they're not going to debate you because I haven't seen any debate.
That was the consensus that they all reached. Yes.
So let's understand this. The proponents of the globe were given the chance to pick any model, and you would agree with it, even their own model, and they didn't. After debate, they say no.
I also said they could choose the moderator of the platform, and I would restrict all my answers to 1 of 2 sentence responses.
And you told them what those responses were ahead of time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I came at them too confidently. Next time I should.
I think it's your responses were the problem.
Should have what? What were you going to say?
Next time I should have acted like I was scared of them, stuttered around and, acted scared.
That's what I said to Kent Holvine, that he's really not that bright, but, I think he's worth the debate. I made it sound like you needed saving. You understand? That your eyes needed to be opened up. That it's a sphere. I'm trying to lure him in.
Did he respond at all?
Not yet.
I think they're realizing how many traps they're going to get in when they decide to argue against an angle.
It's just kind of funny. You got to be a flat earther before you can be a glober,
Maybe that gives them the protracted delay in response.
I went on 24/7 yesterday and explained it to those guys.
How'd you fare?
Yeah, fine. I went in and started
You like-
arguing with a replay of Gem Panda.
That happened to me too.
How long did it last?
Oh, only a few minutes before they said, no, he's not here, it's a replay. I was like, oh, okay.
That's funny. That happened to me too. I went on for about 5 minutes. Finally, Helio came on. He said, Neil, it's a tape. It's recorded. It's not live.
It's fine. It gave me an opportunity to explain the current state of play with the argument. And as much as people might say, oh, yeah, I'll watch your show. Yeah, but do you? Do you really?
It's something that it's just like the housekeeping questions. If it's not done daily, people just don't get it. And if you don't understand the fundamentals inside and out and sideways, it's not the same as someone who's, casually hears it once and then 2 months later says, oh yeah, I heard them talk. And then someone who hears it every day and then sees all the ambushes against it get, thwarted, and then nothing seems to break it. That person's much better referenced and positioned to debate than the person who casually hears it once or twice.
Can I ask a question, guys, please?
Yeah, feel free.
I've never heard you guys discuss regarding, different countries and continents having supposedly having more sunlight, constant sunlight and daytime. The sun movement over the flat Earth, the possibility of what's happening there regarding its circuit and speeds. Does it alter speeds, do you think, or height? It's just something I'm interested. Have you ever spoke about that? I've not heard you guys speak about that. That's all. Just interested to see your take on it, if you have any, from a flat Earth perspective.
I don't know what you want me to say. Ask a specific question.
Well, in the globe model, they put it down to a tilt, don't they? That certain areas have constant daylight or more daylight. It's a globe tilt thing. That's what they're telling us in the heliocentric model. I'm just wondering, is it true that these countries and continents have more daylight and 24-hour daylight, or what? Or is it a lie?
Okay, so Antarctica, no, according to somebody I interviewed called Robert Shortman. As far as the north, yes. I've seen it with my own, well, not with my own eyes. Have I been around in 24 hours? I've been in those areas, but not necessarily to see 24-hour sun. But we did a 24-hour sun tracking twice, and on the second occasion, somebody tuned in and showed us the 24-hour sun in the north at various points throughout the day. But as I say, I interviewed Robert Shortman. He certainly didn't back that. There is no 24-hour in the sun in Antarctica as far as he was concerned. He spent 18 months down there.
Right, yeah. And obviously, my understanding, how I think of it, I'm not, the sun's moving maybe in a circular motion over the flat plane, and it moves out. I won't call it the southern hemisphere. It moves to the outer southern ring, which is a larger area, and then obviously it moves back in, and it goes to its lowest point if you're in the north, and then it obviously moves back up to the inner northern circle, I'll call it, for our summer, where it's at its highest point. So obviously it's got a bigger circumference around the southern area and a smaller one in the north. So that to me means the sun must change its speed, possibly.
Maybe. I don't know what it is. It's hard to say, isn't it?
If our 24-hour day is always 24 hours, then it must be going slower in the outer southern ring and quicker in the northern inner ring.
If it's a physical object with a mile per hour touchable.
They always seem to like to say it's everything that we observe is happening on the globe or sphere, whatever. The sun definitely is lower in the sky in the winter for me here in California and much higher come summertime. So I know the Earth is not spinning. I know that the sun is moving. And this has been repeated since the time I've had a consciousness to see it. Winter is lower in the sky and summer is higher in the sky. So the luminaries are moving above the Earth. Now, why they insist that the Earth is a sphere versus a plane is obvious, but you can't get an angle measurement off of a sphere. So we know it's not a sphere.
Yeah, and they say that it can only happen the way it happens on a globe. It can't happen like that on a flat Earth. But meanwhile, it is happening like that on a flat Earth, because Earth is not a globe.
Just elevation angles prove that. Elevation angles to stars used in navigation and celestial sphere, which is their model, prove that the Earth can't be a sphere. So whatever it is, it's not what they're saying.
Glad you brought that up. Good morning.
Morning.
Nathan, do you remember, I think it was last Thursday that I mentioned the thing about measuring off a parabola? Yeah.
Yeah, you broke up a little bit. Do we remember you mentioning measuring off a parabola?
Yeah, am I breaking up still?
You're just very quiet. It's fine. What was your question, Eric?
Well, he contacted me, and I just wanted to know, because I PM do this, but I don't know if you checked that. He contacted me, and he showed, like, all these parabolas and measuring off them. I was wondering if he wanted me to share them with you, and then you could, like, tear them apart, or maybe you're not interested.
All right, Mike.
Is a parabola... I'm sorry, Nathan.
He's just asking if he wants us to share it, him to share it with us. Yeah, sure.
Okay, it's like a brief conversation. I'll just screenshot it and paste it. Where would I paste it? In the main chat?
Maybe. I don't know who can retrieve it. Maybe Neil can retrieve it for us and stick it in Master B. I don't know if that's possible.
All right, just give me a second.
No worries. I didn't think it would kill the conversation that much.
Well, I'm just thinking he was going to do it right away, but isn't a parabola a plane curve?
Typically, there's a man outside my window with a lawnmower or a leaf blower.
But that's not the answer for a parabola.
I did another short poem as well, if you want to hear it.
Yeah, go on.
Lovely.
Tell me when you want me to go.
Go.
Can you hear me all right, yeah?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, it's called Celestial Heaven. Celestial heaven stretched out across the sky. Perspective, yes, perspective, eluding a sphere in mind's eye. In physical reality, that's not the truth. We don't necessarily have a dome in the sky because gas pressure containment is a fact of life, not a lie. Celestial sphere, trick of mind's eye. Standing upon the equatorial plane, what exactly is it the globe has to gain? The globe Earth has to be cut in two in order to obtain angles, a few, for navigators to pinpoint and fix. Seems to me the globe Earth is a big bag of tricks. The end.
Very good. Thank you.
I like it. You ought to compile all these and keep them coming.
Yeah, will do. I've got a little black book with my poems in.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. Isn't a parabola a plane curve that they always show in the Cartesian reference system? Flat.
A parabola is what the 8 inches per mile squared will give you.
Well, when you go online and you look at parabolas, it's always on the background is always a Cartesian reference system. And
okay, it's in the chat now. It's in the chat now. The main part is you can just see a protractor over two parabola lines. I don't know if anyone can give it to you.
Can someone retrieve this from whatever it's called? What's the chat bit of Discord called? I don't know.
1 second.
Thank you very much.
Morning, guys.
Hey, Chocolate.
Good morning, Choco.
Who's that speaking? Where'd you post that?
Who's Eric?
I put it in main chat. And it's Ruhif. He private messaged me.
Oh, Rufy. Oh, excellent. Yeah, let's see how Rufy's been clutching at straws today.
Sextant measuring a parabola. I want to see it.
All right, just downloaded the last image now.
Stick it in Master B.
By the way, am I roboting at all? Because I updated my phone and I thought it would get rid of it.
No, it seems fine. Seems fine to me. Okay, thanks, Eli. Right, I've got them up. Do you want to read through it, Eric? Because it's quite a chunky bit of text and it's too small to read on this when I've got it displayed.
Well, basically, like he sent me the formulas. I didn't read them. I just was mostly looking at the graph there. So the one I mentioned to you is the graph where you can see it's not like intersecting at the vertex. It's the other one. That's the one I was thinking about, because it starts to get infinitely closer to the y-axis, and then it appears to be straight, right? But then the second one is when he put both of them, he had them intersect. So two curving lines, and then you can see he put that protractor over it and then measured an angle from it.
All right, an angle's two straight lines?
Yeah, like if you were to show that to somebody like who didn't know it was a parabola, right? They would think that that's two straight lines.
So you're saying it looks like it's an angle. It isn't.
Yeah, I know. But I just wanted to share that with you. Maybe like you can help like clarify for your audience or
oh yeah, no worries.
Rip or hip apart.
Yeah, I can clarify. Yeah. So these are curved lines, right? And you're saying there's a point where if you zoom in close enough, you can't quite see that they're curved. Correct? Anybody on my panel, what's the definition of an angle?
Two straight lines, two lines meeting at a common point called the vertex.
Does Rufy have that in those diagrams? Why is it that Rufy is appealing to how straight and flat and almost can be used for an angle his curved lines are. Why would he be doing that? Shouldn't he just be convincing us of how curved they are, as opposed to how flat they look? It's not an angle, Rufy. You need to brush up on your definitions. I know you feel that they're meaningless, but an angle is still just an angle, whether you not like it or not. Hopefully we dealt with that for you. Ask him to define an angle, and when he says that the definitions of words are meaningless, tell him he's lost. Because an angle's still just two straight lines meeting at a vertex, which he hasn't got. But it's almost flat. Please let it pretend to be flat. Yeah, beg us for us to just ignore the fact that you haven't got the requirements for an angle. That'd be two straight lines, Rufy. It almost looks like it, though, doesn't it? Yeah, almost a win. But not quite. Still, an angle's pretty well defined, despite the fact that Rufy likes to ignore definitions of things. Share your pain.
All tactics. That's all they got left.
But nobody answered me. It wasn't rhetorical. Why is he appealing to how flat or straight a curved line looks, rather than appealing to us about how curved it is, because that's what he's trying to prove? He's not trying to prove how curved it isn't, which it seems to me is what he's attempting to pull off with you. Look, it almost looks like a straight line. It could almost be called an angle. It could almost be used to measure a vertex. Here you go. Look how close it comes if I put a protractor on top of it. Yeah, they're not, though. If it was in a computer system, it would say syntax error. What is it, this vague, wishy-washy, I can almost use it as an angle? No, not when we're drawing out triangles and doing triangulation. You need parallel lines. That's how it works. You don't have any of that with these curvy lines. What, if you look really close, it almost looks straight, though? Yeah, nice try.
He's basically saying the globe's flat, and it's measured like that.
Or even if it's got a curve, he can still look at it in such a manner that he can extract flat measurements from it. How useful! Shouldn't, again, like I keep saying, third time's a charm, shouldn't he be proving how curved it is?
But the question is can you measure an angle off a curve?
No, you can't.
Right.
But if I assume it's curved, like Rufy has, and then look really closely and squint my eyes a bit, you can almost do it. But no, you can't. That's super accurate, by the way. I love that. What if we look close enough and squint our eyes, right, Rufy? You can almost get it to work functionally flat. Again, why aren't you trying to prove how curved it is, as opposed to assuming that you can functionally use it flat when it's already assumed curved? Look, if I assume it's curved, I can still almost, not quite really, if you squint, get an angle from this. What a pathetic idiot. Do you call that accurate? Do you call that quality work, Rufy? It's absolutely pathetic.
Laughable.
Yeah, you ever
Hold on, can I say
realize by
something?
now that this is where they're at? All the claims that they have to actually prove, they're actually trying to prove the opposite of them. It's a little weird, but I guess that's what happens when the world is actually the opposite of what you assert it is.
Please let me
starting to
realise
realise slowly that the Earth is actually flat. They're starting to realise it bit by bit.
Well,
Not just
clearly
realize
not.
it, they're starting to fight for it.
He's fighting for how flat his curve assumption can be. That's what he's actually doing.
No, he's actually just, well, okay, like to me it seems like the question is, can you acquire an angle off of a curve?
No,
not that this, but it looks like, okay, like let's say there was no globe, but there was like an infinite, we lived on an infinite parabola.
Then you couldn't get an angle from it. It wouldn't be a flat baseline. So no, also.
But you could navigate though, wouldn't you? Because,
well, no, because you wouldn't be able to measure an angle, and it wouldn't be running parallel with your zenith and the GP of the star.
But it'd be like a fake angle though.
It just wouldn't be parallel anymore. If it was running off a parabola, it wouldn't be parallel with your zenith, and would not function mathematically.
You mean like a pseudo angle?
It just is an angle. That's what's being done.
But I think you could. Like I need more clarification, because I feel like if we lived on an infinite parabola and you threw your sextant up at the horizon and you could measure 90, like it would seem like it was 90.
No, you couldn't.
It wasn't.
No, you couldn't.
It wasn't 90.
You've been listening to Ruhif too long. If we're measuring off a parabola, you can get a 90. Factually incorrect.
But it would seem like a 90. It'd be off by like...
Sorry, seem like a 90, so not a 90 then. Yeah, things can seem like unicorns, but they're still just horses.
I know.
Right, so it's not an angle. We're not getting 90. You've been listening to these idiots too long. Idiots like Ruhif. Glenn Williamson, a complete moron, who's telling you can get 90 off a curved surface. That's a moronic statement and factually wrong. Glenn Williamson, a.k.a. Ruhif, is factually incorrect about that. Now, he doesn't like it and wants to appeal to you about how flat it can seem. It isn't. Again, why is he appealing to you about how flat it can seem to get a not quite almost, if you look at it squinting, an angle? Yeah, why is he doing that? He's supposed to be proving it's curved, not assuming it's curved and then appealing to how flat it can look.
How can a globe look flat for 1,000 miles?
Doesn't matter how flat it looks when you're measuring an angle. You're just measuring an angle. An angle is what it is. Looks flat, who cares? Parallel zeniths, that's what you require if you're doing triangulation. And if it's curving away from you, you're not going to get a 90. But he's being told, this dude, by Roofy, that he can get a 90 off a curve. That's factually wrong. He doesn't have to like it. His functionally curved surface does not work with this method. That's celestial navigation. So they have to appeal to how flat it looks and appears. Oh well, that won't give you a parallel zenith, will it?
Nathan, I got 2 slides of mastery I'd like for you to show.
Sure. Okay.
So you see this Mark's plotting chart for the Mark-Saint-Hilaire method?
Yep.
If you go all the way to the bottom, and you can see it says note. Lines of position, or the Sumner lines, are always at right angles to the bearing or azimuth of a celestial body. Just keep that in mind. Go to the next slide. Next slide is going to show a close-up of 2 circles of equal altitude. Is it black?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Let me get you another one. Let me explain it, and then I'll try to find you another one.
Okay.
So imagine 2 circles of equal altitudes. Yeah, you're right. It's black. That's weird. Imagine 2 circles of equal altitudes, and you zoom in on it. Where the circles cross to where you can get a fix. That's the sight reduction part of celestial navigation, where they say these circles are so big you really can't do it. So you get a Mercator map and you figure out your DR position, blah, 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 and then you know you're over here. And then because you zoom in, they're like 2 straight lines, but they're really part of the 2 circles of equal altitudes. And then, of course, you have to apply the note that I read. It's 90 degrees. So, I mean, this is nonsense. Let me get a better picture for you.
Okay. Yes, it's in a very amusing position they've found themselves in mathematically. They've got to beg us for flatness. Precisely what is occurring.
I really want that what is it, that poem, Earth is Flat, like that. If somebody can do a cute animation to it and make it a book, and then, it'd be awesome. And then he have the like recording to go with it.
See what I can do on that.
Post the words. That would be the first best bet. So somebody can see it written down, and then hopefully somebody who's a bit artistic will look at it and go, yeah, I can add some animations or stills or whatever.